Hello everyone, welcome to Nanuya channel. And today, we're diving into a topic that is both deeply personal and universally impactful, childhood trauma. This episode is for anyone who has experienced it, knows someone who has, or simply wants to understand more about it. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's have a compassionate conversation. And at the end of the video, there will be some explanations of difficult words or phrase to expand your vocabulary. Childhood trauma refers to adverse experiences that happen during the early years of life. These experiences can range from physical, emotional, or sexual abuse to neglect, witnessing violence, or living with a caregiver who has substance abuse or mental health issues. Trauma can also result from events like natural disasters or the loss of a loved one. What's important to note is that trauma isn't defined solely by the event itself, but by how it affects the individual. Two children could go through the same experience, but their responses might be entirely different. That's because trauma is deeply personal, shaped by factors like resilience, support systems, and individual temperament. Let's think about this. Trauma can be like a storm. For one person, it might feel like a passing rain shower, disruptive but manageable. For another, it's a hurricane, leaving lasting damage that takes years to repair. Understanding this nuance is key to addressing trauma with empathy and care. The impact of childhood trauma. Childhood trauma doesn't just fade away as we grow older. It can leave lasting imprints on the brain and body. Research shows that traumatic experiences during childhood can affect brain development, leading to challenges in areas like emotional regulation, memory, and decision-making. Think of the brain as a complex highway system. Trauma can create roadblocks, detours, and bottlenecks that make it harder to navigate life smoothly. This is why many adults who experience trauma as children struggle with anxiety, depression, relationship issues, or even physical health problems such as chronic pain or heart disease. Many adults who experience trauma as children struggle with anxiety, depression, relationship issues, or even physical health problems such as chronic pain or heart disease. This phenomenon is sometimes referred to as toxic stress, which occurs when the body's stress response is activated repeatedly or for prolonged periods without sufficient support to return to a state of calm. But here's the good news. Healing is possible. We'll talk about that in just a moment. First, let's explore how childhood trauma manifests in adulthood. Recognizing the signs. You might be wondering, how do I know if childhood trauma is still affecting me? While every person is different, some common signs include difficulty trusting others or forming close relationships, overreacting to situations that remind you of past trauma, feeling stuck in patterns of fear, anger, or sadness, avoiding certain memories or parts of your past, experiencing physical symptoms like headaches or stomach issues without a clear medical cause. It's essential to approach these signs with curiosity rather than judgment. Remember, these responses are often survival mechanisms your brain and body developed to protect you. Steps toward healing. So, how do we heal from childhood trauma? While the journey looks different for everyone, here are some steps that can help. Acknowledge your experience. The first step in healing is recognizing and validating your experiences. Childhood trauma can often be minimized or dismissed, but acknowledging it as significant is a powerful act of self-compassion. Seek professional help. Therapy, especially trauma-focused approaches like EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, can be incredibly effective. Build supportive relationships. Healing doesn't happen in isolation. Surround yourself with people who make you feel safe, valued, and understood. Practice mind-body techniques. Activities like mindfulness, yoga, or journaling can help reconnect you with your body and process emotions in a healthy way. Be patient with yourself. Healing is not linear. There will be setbacks and breakthroughs, but every small step counts. A message of hope. If you're listening to this and resonating with what I've shared, know this. You are not broken. You are not defined by what happened to you. Healing is a journey, and it's one you don't have to walk alone. Imagine your life as a garden. Trauma might have left weeds and broken branches, but with care, patience, and nurturing, new growth is always possible. You have the strength to reclaim your story and plant seeds of hope and joy. Remember, it's okay to seek help, to ask questions, and to take your time. There's strength in vulnerability and courage in seeking peace. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Healing Talks. If this conversation has resonated with you or sparked questions, I encourage you to reach out to a trusted professional or explore the resources mentioned in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with someone who might find it helpful. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, healing is always within reach. The word caregiver refers to someone who provides direct care and support to another individual, especially someone who may need assistance due to age, illness, or a disability. In the context of this sentence, a caregiver could be a parent, guardian, or other adult responsible for the well-being of a child. This highlights the potential impact of the caregiver's behavior, such as substance abuse, on a child's development and emotional health. Overreacting, in this context, refers to responding to situations with an intensity or reaction that seems disproportionate to the event at hand. This can happen because a situation may unconsciously remind someone of past trauma, triggering a stronger emotional or physical response than the current moment warrants. It's a common sign of unresolved trauma where the body and mind react to a perceived threat based on past experiences rather than the present reality. The term vulnerability refers to the state of being open to emotional exposure, risk, or the possibility of being hurt. In this context, strength in vulnerability means finding courage and resilience by allowing yourself to be authentic and open, even when it feels risky. It's about embracing your true feelings and experiences, which can lead to deeper connections, healing, and personal growth.